Cheers.
Cheers. Well, do you just want to jump right into this?
Well, yeah, man. Yeah, this is once again we're diverting from the usual formula again this week. It's just a buttload of content, so many great things to talk about. This week or today on this one, we are talking about a comic book movie that
Well,
we just
technically a
saw.
manga movie.
A manga movie,
This
but
is
nonetheless is still based off of comic books.
Yes, but you had me on a couple of weeks ago, and I was kind of excited about seeing this, and we finally went to go see it, and I have to say, I'm impressed. I had no idea what to expect going in there because the previews honestly did not give me a lot to go off of other than ooh, there's some things that I really like from the manga and some things that I remember from the anime, and then I
Oh,
was
by the
blown
way, that's
away.
Mason talking, not Justin.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We botched that one.
It's fine.
Justin, he does have a life, unlike us at the moment. We breathe this comic book shit, inhale it, all of it. So yeah, no, we are. So no, that's why Mason's here. Y'all know Mason. He's been on a good portion of them by now. So yeah.
I've been on a few of your podcasts, just guy on the couch, but this was something I was really excited about originally. And then, the closer it grew, I was like, I don't know what to expect. And I'm going to tell you right away. I mean, I know you don't have a lot of familiarity with the source material, but.
Not even the slightest. I can honestly say that I was not excited about this movie.
And what
I
did
went
you
in
think?
based off of your excitement.
And what did you think?
I will pay to see it again in 3D next time.
For me, it was. This is what I really believe shows that we can do good Western adaptations of Japanese media, especially manga. It sold me because from beginning to end, it was the content of basically volumes 1 and 2 of Alita. It was the content with a little bit of extra thrown into it that needed to be thrown into it from
Volumes 1 of 2 of how many volumes?
9.
9.
There are 9 volumes to Alita.
So, are you saying we could have a trilogy possibly on our hands?
I am definitely foreseeing at least. I don't know how far Robert Rodriguez is willing to take this, and I don't know who he has screenplay adapting. I didn't look that far into it, but I'm saying at least a trilogy. It would take at least a trilogy to fully cover it.
Well, I can say that based off of what I saw, going into this with seriously low expectations, I just, yeah.
Well, and not only that,
I'm excited
slammed.
For a trilogy.
It's been getting slammed from different sides, and then
well, it was getting slammed in the beginning before it came out, just like all these fucking people.
And now people are really talking about it, and I think it's just funny, really going into it. I don't think half of them even know where it comes from.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a comic book adaptation, and we wouldn't be talking about this on the Cheers to Comics podcast if it wasn't a comic book adaptation, whether it be Eastern or Western. And I've already expressed my views on Eastern style, whatever. But this movie was incredible, and not incredible for a whatever. This was just an all around incredible movie. This cast. Just this surprise after surprise after surprise.
Things you didn't realize were there until after you walk out and you're like, wait, that person was. Oh, no way.
Yeah, dude, you got Rorschach in this motherfucker. Fricker.
Sorry. You've already blown that once in the beginning.
Well, I got my one F-bomb out of the way. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it clean for this one. This is a trial and tribulation for Brian Wayne here and his foul potty mouth.
But I will say this.
Even Alita dropped one F-bomb.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But just one.
But it was by far one of the most anime things I have seen in Western live-action media ever.
It was so good. It really had every aspect of everything you can want in a movie. And
Well, and
And
I told you last week, and I was hoping they were gonna freaking follow that line. I told you, not last week, but a couple of weeks ago,
yeah.
Zalem is not what you expect it to be. And was I right?
Oh man, yeah, you were, you were. And I will say one thing. I will say for someone that had no knowledge of anything about this. I've seen a trillion movies at this point because I'm not just a comic book nerd. I am a bit of a movie nerd as well. I mean, that's why I'm talking about a movie. I enjoy film. With that being said, it was a very predictable movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Good lord, what the
All right. That was a little weird.
that was fucking bad shit, man. I thought you bumped something and I saw your face.
No, somebody threw something at the window.
Somebody threw something at our 17-story penthouse studio window.
Oh God.
I thought a dead bird or something, or it would have been dead. A dead bird wouldn't have flown into it because, dead birds don't fly.
Well, not without external propulsion from another source.
Yeah, so, and it'd be weird to throw a dead bird at someone. So, the fact is, someone threw a snowball on account of the perfect circular snow circle on the window.
And the water dripping down the window?
Yeah, and that too.
Okay.
So we, yeah, sorry about that.
That was a little
Anyways,
bit startling. Sorry, that was very, very,
it
very
looked like you saw
discombobulating.
ghosts, cause
Well, oh yeah, you've got the headphones on, so you didn't know where the sound came from.
yeah, you just looked at the window. I was like, vampires, don't let it in.
Okay. Anyways, you were
Alita.
saying the movie was very predictable, and I agree with you.
But
It was, but that's also a product of kind of just the 90s storyline in general. I mean,
no,
not to say that all things from the 90s are extremely predictable, but a lot of things from the 90s, it's just the writing style that took place, even in the East at that time. We just kind of had some predictable points. I bet you didn't see what was gonna happen. You didn't see Hugo coming, though. I bet you didn't see that coming.
no, and we won't spoil it.
No, I don't want to spoil anything, but you didn't see that coming.
No, I did not. I had hints. I was like, oh man, I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I will. You know what? I will say I had a feeling. But even when it did happen, I was like, I had to pick my freaking face off the floor, man. I was
Right.
blown away. I was like, oh, it did actually happen. I thought I was pipe dreaming for a second, man. So, this. And beyond all of the just mind blowing factors, the cast, you have Michelle Rodriguez is thrown in there as.
Oh yeah, I don't want to spoil where that comes from, but wow, just I mean, once again, one of those things you didn't even realize until you got out of there, and you're just like, no way.
Another comic book legendary actor, Jackie Earl Haley is in there. We won't say who.
No, and once again, you probably won't recognize it until you've left the theater. They do so well with the CGI on this movie. It is very cartoony in places, absolutely, but it flows. It flows perfectly. And don't get me wrong, there are going to be some plot points where you're just going to be like, but why though? And just roll with it. It is fun.
But the thing is before you could even finish the though in that sentence, they already blow your mind with the next visual.
Because they move on so quickly. I will say
the
this.
pacing is fast.
The pacing is very fast.
It's 2 hours long, and you get your money's worth in that 2 hours.
It is definitely a 2 hour story.
They tell a lot of story, and
there are very few wasted moments. I will say that there are not even really wasted moments. They are ones that you knew they were coming, and it's kind of necessary to establish the story that they want to.
And the love scene, like
exactly, that is the one I have in mind.
Yeah, it's I mean, both of us, like, I think we both had the same reaction. We were like, okay, yeah, there it is, get on with it.
But you know that it needs to be there, kind of just to establish what is there.
It is. It's the motivate. It's both of the characters' motivations towards what they're doing. So without that love scene, the whole movie is pointless.
Absolutely.
Without not necessarily that love scene, but the relationship between the two characters. Yeah.
I will say that in the original, how I remember it at least, that's may not be true between both anime and manga because the anime is my most recent exposure. Um, I want to say that the what took place with Vector
Oh
towards
yeah.
the end,
Yeah.
different characters are involved in the original.
Okay. Well, for the most part, we both established that we're not allowed to talk about this movie till we turn on the mic. But
Yes.
the one thing that you did thoroughly establish was how true the movie was
Oh, absolutely.
to the actual well
I was
comic
blown
adaptation.
away how true they were to the comics. I was absolutely blown away by it.
And being that we've known each other for a while, I know one of your biggest qualms with literature to movie adaptations is the fact that everybody has to do their own take.
Nobody
And
wants to do, just panel for panel, scene for scene, and I understand that's not for everybody, and a lot of people think that doesn't sell, but there are people.
I'm one of those people, but when you do that for something that's not broadly known, like
Fair.
Alita, then it plays well. But if you were to take, say, the Infinity War or the Infinity Gauntlet story,
Hmm.
and do that panel for panel, no one goes see the movie because there'd be no weight to it.
See, but on the other hand, you have things like one of my favorites of all time, Akira, where in the movie adaptation you get maybe three volumes, not even 3 volumes of the story out of it, and it's the middle of the story. There is no like if somebody else is coming into Akira who has
Yeah.
never seen it before,
Me.
yeah,
I did that.
you did
You were
that.
like Akira, 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 and I was like, oh, that's an Akira thing on the Hulu, and I
Yeah.
turned it on, and I was like, I don't know what the hell it was.
Exactly. It blew my mind as a kid and made me want to research more about it. And then I find out that there's 6 freaking volumes of this like huge manga, over 2,000 pages of highly detailed art by Katsuhiro Otomo. And I probably butchered his name, but I just, I just, I could not believe the art that was in it. I absolutely could not believe it. And the story that is there is so much more. It's still confusing. It's still insane. It's
Are we still
still.
talking about Alita?
No, Akira.
No,
I
we're
was talking
talking
about
about
Akira
Akira.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about, Katsuhiro Otomo's story and art is absolutely nuts. And it is the art of a masochist if you go and you look at the detailing on the crumbling
Oh,
cities.
you've shown me, man, and it's insane. It
But
really is.
you
It
don't
is
get
the art
that
of a
full story.
masochist.
You don't get that full story from the anime. And the anime, I understand, for a lot of people is hard to jump into. And they didn't do that here. They literally started from here's issue 1. Let's move on, and we're going to see how far we can do this in 2 hours. Oh, we were able to pack in 2 volumes. That was great. And it's, I mean, from the first shot of the trash falling from Zalem
Oh
into
man,
the
just
scrapyard.
seriously, they had me at the opening scene. There's nothing that is to not to be praised about this movie. It's visually stunning, and like I said, and I reiterate that because of the opening scene. Immediately, my eyes like I just felt them like sink back. I was like, this is gonna be so easy on the eyes. I was worried this was gonna be like Avatar because I remember going to see Avatar when
Mm.
it first came out, and I think it was one of my very first 3D movies. It was one of them, and it was too much for me. And I didn't see Alita in 3D, and I will definitely go back and see it in 3D.
Well, because
But I
it's
was worried
a
that
lot
this
of
was gonna be
live.
well, yeah, I was worried that this was gonna be so much. And then I mean, obviously that opening scene with showing the bottom of what's the
Zalem.
Zalem
Yeah.
like that, I was like, that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that I could think of. It was just a painting. It was.
I mean, it's definitely it's something that I think Cameron has been really good at capturing, though, and he helped produce, which I would say normally is just putting money into this.
Oh, dude,
But
this
you
was
could
a Cameron movie,
but you could
dude.
tell this had Cameron
Oh,
all
and
over
there was
it.
even a certain part in there where I was like, I laughed out loud. Like, we were the only people in the theater because we saw a 4 o'clock show. We were the only people in the theater besides a bunch of like stragglers that were clearly hammered.
They were clearly hammered.
And
But thank
and, I mean,
God
the
they
fact-
sat at the front.
Yeah,
like,
they sat
really.
at the very front. We were in the very back, so we hardly heard any of their chuckling because we were laughing too. But there was one moment. It was an homage to my favorite Cameron movie, and I'm not even gonna say what it is because I'm gonna leave that Easter egg for you nerds to find because I know how. You know what? There's a Titanic reference in there, and it is so cheesy. It is so cheesy. But at the same
It's
time,
so great.
it is so perfect because I was waiting for Mason, dude, I was waiting for it.
Oh yeah.
That's why as soon as it happened, like immediately I like slapped you in the chest. I was like, did you see that? Like I was on the edge of my seat from the very beginning. I think I only sat back and leaned back like it was a 2
Oh no,
hour
you were.
movie.
I saw this. You were definitely. You were elbows to knees, like hands to chin,
And
watching this, just eyes forward as
And-
much as could
And
be.
I'm a tall guy, and because we were the only people in the theater, I sat in the handicap back row where I had extra room to where I could like actually be hands to knees, fully stretched out without nose breathing on someone's head. Oh man, this movie was so fun. It's been what, an hour and a half since we got out of the theater,
Yeah,
and I want to go see it again.
I loved
I
it.
do. It's amazing. It's highly recommended. There's not enough good things we could really say about this. It's
Like I said, the only thing I have to complain about is just a couple of points where you're just like, but why though? For this single plot point, and it's like, eh, let it go. Oh, okay. Let's go on this ride. Let's go ahead. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm ready.
yeah, yeah. Ah, man. Let's talk about the action. Can we
Oh,
talk about the action
Oh,
scenes?
absolutely. Wow.
there's-
Just so creative. It is anime. It is so anime.
You don't see movement like this.
No,
But at the same time, it's believable movement. You're like, oh, you should twist that. You did twist that way. Oh my God, you're doing it. Like,
I mean, I hate that I keep trying to use anime as a verb, as it's just that. Oh, God. They do the anime so hard. They animate out, but they kind of do. It's just.
yeah. No,
It's action packed at a lot of points, and they don't leave you in
Well,
dead points
but
for long
here's
because
the
the plot
thing,
is
though.
moving quick.
And the reason why the action is as great as it is is because it's not. I mean, it's obviously not vanilla. You're not getting the same type of what's the word? Cybernetic? There we go. Cybernetic movement every time because every single type of character design in here is extremely unique in its own way.
They try
So
to make
all the
every
fighting
cyborg
scenes,
different.
I mean, when you get into, it's not murder ball. What is it?
A
Motor ball.
Yeah.
Motor ball.
Yeah. Very much like kind
All
of a
of
mix
those
between...
characters are so unique, like in their character designs. It's like a video game, man.
Oh, absolutely.
It's-
It's very much like a video game, and I think it's very much like a cross between like almost like F-Zero, Rollerball, and the Tron motor game, motorcycle game. Like it's just a death game though. It's a gladiatorial death game, and yeah, like you're saying, every cyborg is unique because they're trying to outfit themselves to be the best in a different way.
Right. Now here's the one thing that I will. Not once during this movie did I actually believe I was watching a comic book movie. And this is coming from somebody that does not read anime.
Okay.
So with
You
that,
don't read anime?
read manga, my bad. And I mean, it's not that I don't enjoy anime. There is a pretty large handful of anime that I
Oh,
enjoy.
I know, and I need to
But-
get you. I really want to get you through Berserk, but we're gonna have to stay away from 2016 Berserk. I don't want to excuse me. I don't want to crap all over 2016 Berserk either. I still enjoyed the story being told. All of you out there, when you complain about how it's being adapted, you ruin the chances for it to be adapted. We finally got someone to skip ahead of the Golden Age arc and we complained about it. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, did you have more to that?
Oh no, it's just
Okay.
I was just going off about that. I know there are animes that you enjoy,
Oh,
and Berserk is one of them that I really want to still see you get to the end of. But
right,
we really are going to stick to the 1995 series.
right. Well, I think the point of what I was trying to get at was comparing it to it's not we no. All right, my point is we're a comic book podcast. We
Mm.
focus on comic books. The only reason we're talking about or dedicating an entire 30 minutes or so, whatever this turns out to be, to a movie is because it is an adaptation of a pod or
Of a comic.
of a comic.
Yes, very
Now,
much so.
my and it's I guess what I'm trying to say is the ironic part out of all of this is none of this to me felt like it was a comic book movie.
Fair.
It was incredibly enjoyable though. Incredibly enjoyable.
Well, this is the thing I've always really had faith in is that if someone can truly see the motion in the comic, it won't feel like a comic book movie.
No, no. And that's a very fair point. That's very fair. And that's
Because
actually, that's yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I understand there's going to be a lot of Americanization for the dialogue, and I think that lends itself because a lot of people try to work within the very strict guidelines of a character that they know in English, comics.
Right.
But I also want to say this. Okay, so just because in the originals, Alita is called Gally, actually. Her name is originally Gally. And they kind of
Okay.
hint towards that when at one point she's called Allie. They're kind of.
Hold on. At what point do they call her Allie? Because they
I
go
don't. I
right.
don't.
They
I
go
don't.
right to Alita as soon as.
I don't want to ruin where that is and what character that is,
Okay.
but I'll talk to you about that off mic.
Okay.
But yeah, they call her Allie at one point, and I was kind of thinking, is that hinting towards the original name? Because originally she is called Gally. She is not called Alita.
All right.
Alita is, I think, just her motorball name. Or
Oh.
it might be her eventual. I don't remember. It's been a while.
So all right. So what about the 99? Is that thing a thing in the story?
Yes, the 99 is a thing in the story. That was something that was never hinted at in the 1990s anime because they did not want to have to include that part of the story because the 1990s anime was going to just be those first two volumes and then done. They didn't want to do the rest of it. They knew they weren't going to have the funding to do the rest of it.
Gotcha.
And so when it comes to um the movie adaptation and they started including a lot of the other stuff, I was really hoping for what we did get, actually.
Yeah. Well, I know that you were extremely excited about this movie.
Yes, and so they really right then when they started talking about a lot of the 99 stuff and stuff beyond that related to it, I definitely got excited. I
Yeah.
definitely got excited.
Well, I was trying to gauge your emotion and reactions throughout the movie without directly looking at you.
But I know you saw me go, no way, a few times.
I could feel it because I was doing the same thing, and I could just felt a mirror. I felt a mirror of my own emotion next to me. Like we never once looked at each other except for I was like, "Did you see that James Cameron crap? Did you see that Titanic bullspit?" And I said it out loud, like I went straight up,
you
like
did.
obnoxious. In
I
that
know.
I don't care if there was 300 people in that theater. Like I would have, like
I swear,
I
it was
that
just
guy.
4 of us. It was just you and me and the 2 people in the front.
There was actually 6 of them.
Really?
Yeah, as 4 of them were in and out because, like I said, they were hammered, dude.
Oh, okay.
They were sneaking in and out of movies, like I said. We were
Okay, well, you were leaned forward and I was leaned back, so I was just watching the movie. You
Oh,
could
yeah.
see down there over
Oh
the
yeah,
seat.
well, and I'm like a giant too.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm sitting, I tower
Oh,
over
and
everybody.
you just kind of giraffe over everything.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: who is your all right, without giving away any spoilers or anything, who is your favorite actor in the movie? Voice, cameo, anything.
I mean, as far as like,
except for the one extreme surprise cameo in the movie, yes, there is a massive cameo in the movie.
yeah, I can't give that one away.
Yeah, but other than
But
that,
that's the one that lets you know that more's coming too.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, no, like the end is the most amazing spoilerific cliffhanger-y,
I
pants
can't.
tightening. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God, I knew it, but
I
at the
was
same
so
time, I'm
torqued.
so glad I was right moment.
I've got to say
But
Michelle Rodriguez. Just
yeah,
that one. Yeah, figuring out who she was. Because, like, I'll be honest, we didn't figure it out until we really were looking at the cast. You were
yeah,
like, no way. Oh my God. Wow. That
yeah.
happened.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. No, it's just that. All right. No, I get you there. Cause I totally had that same moment with me. There was a point when I can't remember what was the name. Oh, never mind. We can't give away who it was. All right. Whoever the character was that my boy Rorschach played. That was alright. Throughout the whole movie, I was like, "Who is that? I know that voice. Like that's like James Earl Jones iconic. Who is that?" And then yeah, when I found out, I was like, "Oh, I knew it was better than I could have ever imagined. Like that was
Yeah.
uh
It's wonderful. Like, do yourself a favor. Do not look
exactly.
up the cast before you go in.
Oh, go in, dude. If you can go in as blind as I did, and well, when I say as blind as I did, I mean I saw 10 seconds of a trailer, and it was in a movie theater for Into the Spider Verse. Yeah, that was.
Do you think I've given away too much with talking about plot?
No, no, no,
We
not at
really
all.
haven't talked about plot. We've just kind of said the things we really like
Yeah,
about the world.
and it's funny because the Cheers to Comics formula is like we don't give a darn about spoilers, because comic books aren't nearly as uh, I guess there's very few people out there that are like, oh damn, you ruined it for me, you know, because
Right, it's
the
not
real big comic fans, like they read it the first week, you know,
right.
after. But at this point, I think Alita's been out for like 10 days now, right? It opened last Friday or something
Yeah.
like that. 7 days, I don't know. But either way, like you've had at least a week to see it. But even then, this is good enough to where it is. There's so many mind blowing, holy crap moments
Even with
that we
like
don't want to ruin it, because if we told you, like it might be even a bigger draw if we actually told you, but at the same time, I don't want to save you, or I don't want to ruin any type of any of the emotion that I had, because it was just pure joy. I don't
right.
want to take any of that away from you, is what I'm trying to say. By the way, we are still drinking. It is the Cheers to Comics podcast. We're drinking
Some really, really detestable drinks, but I mean, it was a weakness tonight.
yeah. Well, what do you do? Like, we were in a rush. We had to hit up to 7-Eleven. Colorado sells full strength booze now, so
Yeah,
we got that. But it's
not the greatest.
yeah. We got some liquor drinks. But anyway, we just want to remind you we are drinking. So excuse our mumbling and jumbling. We're so excited about this movie, though.
It,
So my next question would be, what was the biggest or the biggest surprise for you, besides, without giving anything
yeah,
away?
okay. The biggest surprise for me, I mean, here's the thing, was there all of the surprises I got were surprises that they actually did things I knew about in the comics. All of my surprises were that they actually hit points that I was just like, they did the thing. Oh my God, they did the thing. That was my mind blowing moment, was that someone actually did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, multiple times. It was just like, from without giving too much description, the the hammer, the jet hammer.
Dude, that thing was crazy. That, I will say, that is the most unbelievable thing about that movie, because that thing clearly weighs 30,000
But
million
that's the
pounds.
jet. That's the jet.
But they carry it around like it's nothing. No.
Well, okay, just humor me. What's to say that Ito didn't modify himself?
What is to say? You never see him with his shirt
Exactly.
off or anything.
Exactly. You never see you never see Ito without
Why
clothes.
wouldn't you modify yourself?
Well, I'm sure. Well, no, I'm sure in a cyberpunk dystopia, there's going to be purists.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, this is 542 years from now.
I think Ito probably modified himself at one point.
But that metal could also be extremely
Which
light,
I
too.
was also very surprised that they kept his original last name.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, Christoph Waltz kills that movie. And
I will say
that was my biggest surprise of the movie. When I was like, that's the main character is Christoph Waltz! That dude is my dude! Like, he is...
I will say it was a huge surprise to see Christoph Waltz cast as Ito. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? I dig it. I really like it. I like the choice.
Yeah, no, that was... Oh, that was so good. Christoph Waltz does an amazing... That dude cannot do a bad movie. You could put that guy in the Girl Ghostbusters movie, and he would make that movie good. Like, that dude is just film gold.
He really is. I will give you that.
Oh my god.
I think my first exposure to him though was in Glorious Bastards, and wow, he sold it. It's like you are an evil man here.
Oh, Django,
And then
Django is he's my guy in Django.
But
like,
you see him in this, and it's just like, wow,
All right, so
he played Ito perfectly. He really did.
When you get the discussion, all right, this might be a bit of a spoiler, but we gotta at least talk about this. When they're having the most emotional moment of the entire movie, it's when she discovers her old battle suit.
Okay.
Her what do they call it? Her berserker suit.
Yes.
And what's his name? Ito.
Yes.
He's explaining to her, like, he's tiptoeing around, like, there's things about I might have known, blah blah blah. But when he explains to her why, that emotion right there, that whole thing was just between, all right, seeing his character, and you almost believe that's what he would actually believe.
Oh, absolutely no. It's definitely sold.
For him to play off, to show that emotion and to play off something that's not even there. It's a CGI character. You know, and so I don't know if the prop person in that place wearing the green suit had the emotion on the face that Alita expressed at that point in time. Because I don't think it's possible for a human to express that emotion that was shown on Alita's face in that time. But that scene right there was just that was really what sold me.
Gotcha.
Beyond all of the action and everything, as far as just like acting performances go.
Well,
I was like Christoph Waltz and who's the girl that
every time that happened, I was thinking.
Rosa
They're not gonna...
Salazar is the voice of Alita.
Every time, a little bit of spoilery, but every time Christoph Waltz was just like, I've got to protect you, and she does the reaction that she gives, that's exactly how it was. And it was just like, you really pushed through the cheesiness and said, I'm going to do it anyways.
Yep.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it exactly how it is. Yeah. These are the characters. And I was just so surprised with the truth. Like, how close to the original characters he wanted to be. I cannot express how happy I was with Robert Rodriguez and his direction of this film.
Yeah. And there is one more acting...
absolute legend.
Well, no, I'm not talking about legend. I'm talking about what I want to consider an up-and-comer. I believe he was Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. So this guy is actually the only person on here that has been in a comic book adaptation of anything, to my knowledge, looking at the cast. I bet Michelle Rodriguez has been in something comic booky, but as far as mainstream Marvel comics go, I kill his name. Mahershala Ali as Vector. That dude is dope.
I haven't watched the Luke Cage because it was something I was like, I got a couple episodes into it and it wasn't too much about it.
I believe it was Cottonmouth. Dude, he's amazing in Luke Cage.
I swear I've seen him somewhere else. You won't let me see the mouse? I swear.
There's a keyboard over there.
I'm good. I just need to click him.
But yeah, no, this guy, because he's Vector, you get, a range of without giving anything away. I guess no. Would that be? All right, you're the per. Would it be giving anything away to say what's going on there?
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
would. I mean, it is, once again, to someone who's going in blind, all of those moments are really essential, I think, to building the wonder for the world and finding out what's happening.
Oh, he was also in the Green Book, which just so happened to win the Oscar for.
Okay, so you're right. He was Cottonmouth and Luke
Oh, I
Cage.
did get that right.
He
Good.
was in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Wow,
Wow,
okay.
man. Dude has chops,
True
man.
Detective.
I mean, like I said, he was in the Oscar-winning Best Picture.
There it is. I knew it. Uncle Aaron.
Oh man, dude! I'm telling
was-
you, dude has chops.
He
So
does. He
two
was-
comic book movies under
Yeah,
his
he was
belt.
Uncle Aaron in Into the Spider-Verse.
So now 3 comic book movies under his belt, and one of them being an Eastern comic. This guy's an up and comer. I'm gonna have to get smoother with his. We're all gonna have to learn his name. Y'all better learn.
Absolutely.
Gonna learn
But
today.
yeah, he's definitely putting himself on the board. Trying to think of another voice that's comparable, really. Because at first I was confusing him with someone else. I was like, I know I've seen him somewhere else, but now it's just like, okay, I know I have seen him somewhere else, but he wasn't the person I was thinking I had seen.
Oh, gotcha.
You know how that goes sometimes.
Gotcha. He's in Predators?
Yeah? He was in Lie to Me at one point. Man.
Damn, this dude goes back. The first thing I ever saw or recognized him in was, Cottonmouth. He is just such a legendary performance.
He was on the
as Cottonmouth.
4400.
I don't know. I never watched that.
Well, it got a few seasons. It got like 3 seasons. You know, a lot of people worked their way through the TV crew or the TV scene first.
Gotcha. All right, so let me ask you this: with this
Okay.
being a Cameron flick, essentially.
I mean, it was very Cameron. You could tell that there were Cameron influences all over it. But we do have Robert Rodriguez as the
Well, let me
official
ask you this.
name for the direction.
Cameron has come out to say that he is tired of comic book movies. He thinks that we're being saturated with comic book movies. Do you find it weird?
No, I don't really find it weird. I mean, I don't think we're oversaturated with comic book movies. I didn't feel like we were oversaturated with comic book movies until we started getting what we've been getting. I don't want to go into political messages that have been shoved into the comic book movies industry now, but I didn't feel that.
Trigger alert.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way until we started having that, and it's like, okay, we've got too much money in this industry for people to waste on this kind of crap now. Because it's fine. You know, sure, let's let the MCU finish out their universe. DC, you hopped on the game late. I'm sorry. But
Well,
I still commend you for giving a chance, because I will say this: you do it and you do it well, and people see it and they talk about it, then comic book fatigue will be not a thing for most people. Most people will want to see it who are fans, and they will fuel you.
Dude, the industry is growing faster than
But-
it ever has, man.
When it comes to James Cameron saying, he's not about comic book movies,
You don't find irony in that?
I don't, because I honestly feel like, because it is a much lesser known Eastern media piece, I find that it was something where when it was proposed to him, he said, you know what? Yeah, it's not anything like what we have going on now. I don't think anyone should be able to complain about it. They can't complain about body image because it's a robot. They can't complain about...
Dude, you were right. And I remember when I first saw the trailer, I was like, that robot chick is naked. And she looked young. And then you realize, like, oh, that's... when they do such a good job of making there no gaps, no questions.
Yeah.
There is no question other than, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen next.
Right.
And honestly, I could probably, based off what I saw here, is 5 minutes into the next movie, I could probably predict. But from here, I can't predict. Like, I mean, I got an idea.
Right, but I think really when it came down to it for me, it was... it seemed like a perfect opportunity. If I'm answering your question, I don't find it weird, because to me it seems like it's a totally separate piece of media.
It's the anti-comic book movie is what you're saying?
Almost, because it does break a lot of the traditional roles we see, because it's just time after time of more or less you want to know more about the character and you find out why they've got the mindset of rebellion because it's still kind of a teenage brain, but I mean there's some quirks I don't want to explain too much to whoever's
Right.
listening.
This is so hard to do without spoilers.
It really is. I understand.
Is there even a point in doing this podcast without spoiling it? I don't know. Have we done a good
Okay,
job?
so
I guess
okay,
we've hit about 40
okay,
minutes now, so we've got 40
so
minutes without spoiling
okay,
anything.
so if you want spoilers, then continue listening for the next 5 minutes. Otherwise,
all right,
it's been a great podcast.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning right here.
All
Spoiler
right.
warning. We're going to go fully in depth to the things we really liked. Okay. So, first off, with what I was telling you at the end about Vector. So, originally, Vector, if I remember correctly, is killed by Ito. And Ito freaks out because he's the one who comes in and he sees Sheeran in the jars. Because,
And which one was Sheeran now? Sheeran was the wife?
Sheeran was his wife, which I don't remember if she was actually his wife in the original. I remember they did definitely have a partnership, but I don't remember if it was wife.
Because Alita the whole time is the professor or the doctor's daughter-like figure because on account of the daughter.
The body is his daughter's body. The body was built for his daughter before she got murdered.
Right.
In the original anime, they're not just chopping parts off of robots. What they're doing is they don't explain this. They show it kind of in the movie, but they don't really explain it. That they can replace anything in the human body except for the brain and the spine. They cannot replace the spine. They cannot artificialize the spine. And the kids won't just go harvest any body parts. No, they rip out spines. It normally causes somebody to be murdered.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, dude, those kids were gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was when the movie first started showing brutality.
Oh yeah,
That's when those kids came in.
And then you see that was like once again, you didn't see that coming with Hugo right there. You didn't see the next thing coming with Hugo.
Oh well,
I'm sure you saw him getting killed, but you didn't see the death ring coming down.
No, I did. I called it.
Oh, you called
that?
that?
No, dude, I said death ring.
Oh, well, but you didn't see the death ring being a thing, I guess.
No, I did. I did.
No, in the beginning, though, when they're first on there. So.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
No, that thing was cool. Like, when like, the first appearance of the death ring, I was like, oh, snap.
And then the next time it's foreshadowing. In the anime, it's the other way around. In the anime, the first time you see the death ring is... The first time you see it in the anime is when it just comes down on Hugo. It just slides down and he tries to jump over and he's just cut apart.
And seeing that visually to me reminded me of the first time in the laser hallway in Resident Evil 1. Like seeing that I was like, that is amazing. Like that is slice and dice right there.
Right,
baby.
right.
Like that is how you chop someone up. Just like that. That was perfect. So yeah, when it did come down to that part where Hugo's like climbing up there and everything, and she's coming up, the whole as soon as I saw him on there, I was like, I want to see like slice and dice before she even gets up there. Like that's kind of what I was hoping is like he'd be like when she finds him, he's just like a torso. Like, it got me. It got me.
No.
But the way they did it was so much better. Like,
no.
I thought the emotion was a little drawn out, but at the same time,
that's how it is. But
it was accurate. It was perfectly paced. It really was perfectly paced. But being somebody that hates lovey-doveyness in all aspects of everything, because whatever.
Oh no, I get it. But that's the thing is that scene when as that was the thing was going through the movie. I kept waiting for the moment where they were going to break me away from the material I knew. And when it didn't happen, it made me happy. And it made me more excited. And I was so much more surprised that they didn't break away from the source.
Your emotional exuberance escalated as the movie went on. Because at first, like, when something cool happened, you were like, ah. But you were still like... ruin it for me any minute.
Yeah.
And then something cool would happen again like 30 seconds later and you'd be like, ah! A little bit louder. But I can still sense they're gonna ruin it in a second.
But they never did. They
And
never
then
did
they
it.
go 2 hours, and the whole time, dude, I can't stress enough how low my expectations were for this movie. I did not think this movie was going to be good.
So
I did
and
not
so
expect to like this movie, let alone like. No, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did. I expected to dislike this movie.
really
I did, on account of how much I dislike Eastern storytelling.
fair.
So yeah, no, it's
But that's the thing is it is so much the exact flow of events. It is so perfectly done.
it was not. This was not a Superman
I mean, I
story.
will say there are changes. Absolutely. There are some very, very minor changes. But it's like I was talking to you recently about the Umbrella Academy. I thought the Umbrella Academy was good. It had major changes, though. Major changes to base character powers, to base storylines, to base plot lines.
That's how they have to do most things now. Otherwise, people are not going
And
to.
this was not, though. This
And
shows that you don't have to
no,
do that.
and you're absolutely right. This movie did prove the proven formula can be diverted from, and for that, I will say this movie was amazing. Thank you so much, Mason, for recommending this. I thought that you were dragging me down a hole that I was going to have to slowly climb out of. But now I look forward to what. And I mean, spoilers, there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a sequel. I
I
was
remember
so
the last
excited.
15 minutes of the movie, I was like, there's still so much they got to do still.
And I told you right then. I said they are right on par for wrapping this up to be as it should, and I was right.
I'm glad. Like, part of me thought this would be a great one-shot movie to just blow my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, and that's what I was thinking.
So few animes that have like Princess Mononoke that was just like a one-shot, whatever. I was like, this is brilliant. I thought Alita was gonna be my live-action Princess Mononoke. Turns out this is going to be a live-action. Oh, you know what? I gotta make a comparison real quick.
Okay.
One real quick. The rollerball
Okay.
was reminding me of watching the pod race in Star Wars.
Absolutely.
How incredible! Like, a lot of people hate the episode or the prequels or whatever, but I will strongly and forever defend the pod race.
Oh, pod racing, yeah, absolutely. And I have
And
my own qualms with the prequels,
so
but I enjoy
if you're trying to get any idea of like, oh, visually, what is this like? Picture the pod race in 2019. And picture it with the most diverse, imaginative beings
like
as the pods.
but robots, of course. Like
Right.
they are cyborgs at this point, but the only thing left of any of them, the only thing left was their brain.
Yep.
That was the only thing human in any single one of them.
Yep. So yeah, no, I just had to make that visual type of comparison before we close this out, because the entire time watching the movie, I remember thinking, I was like, if there's one thing I gotta say during the podcast is how much this reminded me of the pod race. So boom, it took me 48 minutes. We went 48 minutes on this. All right, man.
Yeah, I definitely suggest you cut this down a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's good, dude. I just wanted to keep it under an hour, but over 30 minutes, so we're right.
Well, listen to it before you release it.
Yeah, well, you never know. Whatever, man. I enjoyed talking about this with you. I enjoyed watching the movie with you. So, yeah, thanks for giving us the idea for content. You guys are going to get 3 podcasts in a week. So, you guys know where to find this: YouTube, Twitters, Google Play, iTunes, wherever you find your podcasts. You guys know what to do. You guys have listened to 3 this week, so you guys are well versed. Here you go, man. Cheers, Mason. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
We'll be back next week with Justin as usual. Good night.
All right.